Take a moment and try to draw a bicycle from memory. Don't worry, I'll wait. How did it go? Did the chain connect to the pedals or the wheel axle? For most people, this simple task is surprisingly difficult. It reveals something profound. Your brain doesn't store a photograph of a bicycle. Instead, it holds a kind of functional blueprint. You know what a bicycle does, but the precise visual details are fuzzy, almost ghost-like. This world, where every thought must be drawn, begins not with a pen, but with the strange, abstract gallery inside your own head. That ghost in your mind's eye is a product of a region in your brain called the lateral occipital complex, or LOC. The lock doesn't care about the beautiful photorealistic details. It cares about recognizing the fundamental shape of an object, its bicycleness. It's less of a photo album and more of a file cabinet filled with simplified 3D models. When you decide to draw, you're not tracing an image. You're accessing a file, interpreting its data, and then attempting a physical translation that often gets corrupted, like a file transfer with a bad connection. So, a world of drawing is a world of constant, lossy compression. But something incredible happens when that compressed file is externalized onto paper. The act of drawing isn't just communicating a finished thought. It's an active part of the thinking process itself. This is known as cognitive offloading. You're moving a piece of the problem from the limited capacity workspace of your mind onto an external surface. A simple circle on a page is no longer just an idea. It's a concrete object you can react to. You can add to it, erase it, connect it. The drawing talks back to you, suggesting new pathways your brain alone might never have found. This isn't just a thought experiment. For people with severe expressive aphasia, often caused by a stroke, this is reality. They understand language perfectly, but the neural pathways to produce speech or writing are damaged. Their thoughts are trapped. Yet, many can still draw. A patient might draw a detailed scene of a person falling off a ladder to explain how they got injured, conveying a whole narrative sequence in a single image. They are using drawing not as art, but as a lifeline, a functional, vital form of speech when speech itself is gone. Their world is one of constant translation from abstract thought to concrete lines. But is this lifeline a universal language? Not exactly. Look at this drawing of a box. You see a three-dimensional cube because you've been culturally conditioned to interpret converging lines as perspective. However, studies with individuals from remote cultures without this artistic convention show they might see it as a flat hexagonal shape with some extra lines. The famous duck-rabbit illusion proves even within one culture, a single drawing can be two different things. Communication would become a negotiation of perception. To say, "I'm sad," would you draw a teardrop? What if, in my culture, a teardrop symbolizes cleansing rain and renewal? Every single communication would be built from the most fundamental element, a line. But what is a line? In physics, it's the path of a particle through space-time. In geometry, it's an infinite series of points. On your paper, a line is a boundary. The moment you draw a circle, you haven't just created a shape, you have created an inside and an outside. You've divided the universe of your page into two distinct regions. Every drawing is an act of creation, of defining and separating. A thicker, darker line feels heavier, more certain. A thin, sketchy line feels hesitant, ephemeral. The very physics of your drawing tool would become your tone of voice. This act of using lines to store information is ancient. The drawings in the Lascaux caves aren't just art, they're data. They depict migration patterns, successful hunts, important species. They are a database drawn in ochre on rock. The first forms of writing, like Sumerian cuneiform, began as pictographs, simplified drawings of objects. A drawing of a head meant head. A drawing of a bowl meant food. Over time, these became more abstract, but the origin is clear. Our entire history of storing knowledge began with trying to draw the world. In a way, a line of code that displays an image on your screen is just the distant, hyper-efficient descendant of a line scraped onto a cave wall 30,000 years ago. So you could share data, tell stories, and explain injuries. But could you express everything? How would you draw yesterday, or perhaps, or I forgive you? Drawing is incredibly powerful at capturing the concrete, the what is, but it struggles with tense, with hypotheticals, with abstract emotional nuance. You could draw a person crying to represent sadness, but how do you distinguish between I am sad now, I was sad last week, and I'm worried I might be sad in the future? Language gives us this incredible ability to time travel, to build complex logical structures. A world of only drawing would be a world trapped, in many ways, in a beautiful, vivid, but inescapable present moment.
Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.